Can we do a break on how to manage email according to Tim Ferriss?
Yes. So email, there are a few things. Email is a repetitive task. There are a few different, I think, cornerstone behaviors that help you to manage email. And a big part of managing email is just reducing the anxiety and negative emotional response that you have to email. So number one is with any repetitive task, you want to batch those tasks at certain times so that you're not constantly self-interrupting because the cost is so huge. There's been research done at Morgan Stanley and other places that show if you to 40% of the time you never complete the task that was interrupted. So there are tools you can use for that. Zobni, for example, for Outlook will help you to determine what your hotspots are during the day. So maybe that means that it's most effective for you to check and respond to email at 10, 2, and 4 p.m. And people can then contact you via cell phone for anything urgent. That's very important. And that is one of the hardest rules for people to follow themselves. Number two is recognizing that, and this is from Robert Scoble, the more email you send, the more email you're going to receive. So that also means the more email you respond to, the more email you're going to receive. So for every email you send, at least from Robert's standpoint, you get 1.75 to 2 email in response. So you can see how that doesn't scale. If you respond to everything and continue to send more email, you will continually have more email than you can respond to. And at some point, that approach to managing email breaks down.
You check it also twice a day only?
You
don't give the expectation to people that they should get an answer from you from your phone, like a BlackBerry or an iPhone, right?
I don't, so that's part of the reason I don't have a BlackBerry. But I want people to know the rules of engagement. And there are many people who say, well, I'm an employee, I can't do that. My boss would fire me. That is an assumption, and I'm not saying that that wouldn't happen, but you need to test your assumptions. So if your system isn't working, or if you have a certain type of, let's say, email management, ask yourself the question, if I win the game that I'm playing, if I get twice as many customers, if that results in twice as many email, twice as many voicemail, does my system scale? And if it doesn't scale, when are you going to address that and replace it with a better system? And one particular example that jumps to mind was I was at South by Southwest, and the manager of a radio station in Austin came up to me and said, I'd love to batch my email, but it's impossible. I would get fired. This is the busiest week of the year. And I encouraged him to test that assumption because he was completely overwhelmed. It was affecting his personal life. And he forwarded me the response from his boss. And the response was, awesome time management approach, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, all in caps. I wish more people would use this type of autoresponder. And then he CC'd the managers of 5 radio stations. Because as bad as email might be for you, it's even worse for your boss, generally speaking, because they get BCC'd by everybody who wants to cover their asses.
Chris Sacca has a very good quote, which is your email box is a to-do list that someone else decides.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly right. And that doesn't mean that you are rude about it, but you need, in a world where there is instant access and anyone can communicate with you if your contact information is out there, you have to recognize that the surest way there's no one path to productivity. Everybody has a different personality profile, different priorities, but the one way to be completely unproductive is to try to make everybody happy. That is...
Which is the same for a business, you can't, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That is the surefire way to completely fail to produce any type of result that you're defining.